Hey guys, Doug here. You may see that I have the 3-point finished up on the GT. I built a custom fair lead for it, which was just made out of a flat idler pulley. And I made a tab and welded it to the original fair lead. And I had to weld it up and crimp it so that it wouldn't bend, because I did bend it in the first test. And that helps guide the cable so it goes straight down. This is a ATV adapter from Harbor Freight. One of the ones where the bolt, it's here on the floor somewhere. The bolt would normally just go through this, but it would be connected to a hole like that. But I decided to actually just weld it to this, which is a 1¼ inch piece of steel that I had to make hitches and stuff for my car, which I welded a 5/8 nut into, and then I just ran a bolt in through there. And it still gives the 3-point room to move around a little bit, but there's not much give on the front bolts anyways. And yeah, so that guides it up, and it works really nice. I just kind of took a gamble on where this top link would hook up. I actually have a hole up there, and I have a hole in the bottom there, and it seems to work pretty well in the top part. I had to custom make a new adjustment linkage for it right there in the middle, because the old one looked like a banana, and that was not good. And what else did I do? I dropped those two arms that connect the top piece by 2 inches, and I had to drop the top link connector by 2 inches. So I cut it off, filled in the gap underneath of it. Excuse the bad camera angle, but I had to fill in the little piece that I cut because I used a Sawzall with a junk Allen wrench that I had, and it worked out really well. It's holding up. The connecting arms I just straightened out with a torch, and then I bent them 2 inches down and just left them hang on a hook like that, because it works great and I don't have to use any pins or nothing. And I cut the handle off because I did not need the handle. It was hitting everything. So everything bolts up really nice and everything works really good. Eventually I plan on making another tab like that to put on the bottom, because this is free moving, and you can actually use this hole in place of that hole, which would be pretty convenient. So I just gotta make sure that when I weld a tab on, that it doesn't run into any clearance issues or anything like that. But I have the handheld remote here. It actually goes like this, up and down. I made this using just a plastic box I had, and I stuffed a switch in there and some wiring. You might have seen a picture if you're on Sprocket's Garage or Main Mud Motors. I don't remember where I posted it, but I made this and hooked it up to the winch there, and it works really good. Doesn't have a ton of height. That's the top right there. Obviously, as you hear the bad cracking noise, and it kind of pulls everything together, the arms actually hit underneath the winch mount there, and obviously the top link will touch that pulley. So everything kind of lines up all right for just a rig job, and it keeps the hitch relatively straight. I mean, there's a little bit of discrepancy there, because I didn't properly measure out the geometry for this 3-point, but it works good enough. Doesn't change a ton. It goes up a little bit as it goes down. Whatever. I'm sure I can adjust it in the top link there and make it closer, but whatever. For a quick little hookup, it's not that bad. So what the next plan is here is, now that I got that all done, I got to get the snowblower head off the front of this thing and make a quick connection for that using some 2-inch square steel, like from a Hitch, and make it so that I can sleeve it into the back there and lift it up and down, and I will power it with a offhand engine instead of using the PTO on here, because it just did not work out well last year. Plus I have the front line in the front here anyways for the plow, and right now I just have a little stud on it for lifting things like mowers and golf carts and other junk that I have laying around here. And both of the front and rear are wired to the dash. Get down, get up, up. I just drop it like that on the ground, and you pick up on anything that might be in the way. And when you don't need it, it tucks up nicely out of the way. And like I said, I'll have the plow on the front there and the snowblower on the rear, which should work out really well. So I have a tutorial that I made about working on this and getting rid of the wireless winch component of it, the wireless remote, because these things like this one got wet and it only, I think, extend works on it, which is useless. So I deleted it from that. So I have a little picture tutorial on how to do that, and the switch is pretty self-explanatory, the remote, and just quickly connects the same exact way. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be on the Altering Lawn Tractor forum. I'll put a link in the description here once I'm done with it. But otherwise, I'm gonna get inside. That's completed. I'm happy with it. It works great. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to everybody later.